In today's episode, we're going to watch an interesting classical movie. The title of the movie is definitely present in everybody's home, and it is Rear Window. Alright, guys, this is my blog on Rare Window. So, if you see my one word review is engrossing, and my verdict is wanna thrilling ride, hop onto this movie. So, definitely, it's a very good thriller film, and you can read this blog if you don't want any spoilers. So, you can just decide whether to watch this movie or not. Yeah, let's not waste time. We'll jump into the trailer. We'll watch the trailer first, and then we'll decrypt the movie.
This is the scene of the crime. A crime of passion, filmed in a way you have never seen before, and as no one else would dare attempt, but the screen's master of suspense, the producer-director who shocked the world with Psycho. This is the apartment of a man named Jeffries, a news photographer whose beat used to be the world. Right now, his world has shrunk down to the size of this window. He's been watching the people across the way. Nobody seems to pull their blinds during a hot spell like this. He knows a lot about them by now. Too much, perhaps. For instance, down there on the second floor, the woman pacing about. He calls her Miss Lonely Hearts. So lonely that even death seems like a friend. These are the newlyweds, on a honeymoon no one will ever forget. He calls her Miss Hearing Aid, an artist of a very odd and strange art. The songwriter, who plays the same melody over and over again. A genius or insane? This is the traveling salesman and his invalid wife. Out of their arguments and nagging comes a weird kind of love. Miss Torso, the body beautiful. That is, viewed from a safe distance.
Those are just a few of my neighbors. At first I watched them just to kill time, but then I couldn't take my eyes off them, just as you won't be able to.
And you won't be able to take your eyes off the glowing beauty of Grace Kelly, who shares the heart and curiosity of James Stewart in this story of a romance shadowed by the terror of a horrifying secret.
Yeah, so that was a trailer, and yeah, it is another mystery thriller from Alfred Hitchcock, the greatest director, one of the greatest director Hollywood ever had. And yeah, I mean, you can pretty much guess the whole movie. What is it about? So they have revealed everything in the trailer. So it is about the photographer who has been injured. His legs are recovering, so he has to be in a wheelchair. So he has nothing but to peek out of the window and see what's happening outside. So that is the whole movie. So he watches everybody's affairs. I mean, the happenings. And it is actually summer season, I guess, because of the heat wave. Everybody's left their windows open, and he gets to see everybody's lives. So that's how the movie starts. The first act is very quick, and you will get to know what is the movie about in just, I think, 5 or 10 minutes, because straight away we are introduced to, as you can see here, yeah, right after this frame, there is one single pan shot that shows what kind of career the protagonist has. So he is a protagonist, James Stewart. I love this guy, and I think yeah, this is the pan shot. So this would be a pretty short duration here, but in the film they'll show a wide shot. I mean, it takes a long duration, so you will get to know that his profession is photography, and that he's injured right now with his legs useless, so he has to be in a wheelchair, he's recuperating, and he's like he has nothing to do, so he's a person who wants to go out and take pictures. So such kind of person, if you left inside a home, what would happen? So that's how the movie starts. So he has grown accustomed to the looking out of the window and watching people's life. So that's the first act for you, and then you are shown everybody's I mean, whoever he's looking into, all the characters are introduced to as well. Like in the trailer, we were given, right, Miss Lonely Hearts. So she is one character who lives in the second floor, where I mean, she basically wants some company, but since she's kind of mid-age, she doesn't get a good company. So she's one person who's like really lonely, and she wants someone to hang out with. And there is another character, like these are from the neighbor building where they've been wed newly, and they've come for a honeymoon. And there is a pianist. This is the model artist. So he has nicknames for every person, like Miss Lonely Hearts, and this lady would be called as Hearing Aids, and newlywed couples, and the pianist. And this is another couple who has always arguments. I think his name is Thorwald. So he's the antagonist of the movie. So initially we would be revealed. I mean, the movie would expose him as a normal character, but then we'll grow as the movie progresses. You will get to know more about him. And she is the wife of Thorwald, Mrs. Thorwald, who is bedridden. So I'll come back to that plot. This is the main plot. The story about these two couples. So that's what is gonna kick the movie forward. So after the first 5 minutes, you get to know what's happened to the protagonist, and what's he doing, and after like half an hour, you will know everybody around the area. Like he's looking into everybody's lives, and you will get to know all the characters. So now the act one exposition done. You know what is the world and what kind of story you are looking forward to, and what is the inciting incident. So he notices that there is some quarrel. He hears some quarrel between the couples, Thorwald couples, and some kind of noise, and it's silent after that. So he didn't suspect anything, because usually they argue a lot. So but he sees Mr. Thorwald going out with a suitcase, and after some time Mrs. Thorwald is missing. So then he suspects that there could be a murder. So during the quarrel, the husband could have murdered the wife. So that's the inciting incidents, and that's when the movie progresses forward. So we have a maid for our protagonist. I think she is not shown in the trailer, but he has also a friend, a girlfriend, and she's Lisa. So Jeff and Lisa. So our protagonist supporting characters are Lisa and Stella. So they are the maid and the girlfriend, or the supporting characters. So they also get involved in this inciting incident about this murder plot. So they believe that what Jeff says could be right, and then Lisa goes on to investigate this home, and that is the further story, like how they are figuring out whether it was a murder, and where is the wife, what happened to the wife, and if he's the murder, then he should be arrested. So how it is done. So that's the whole movie. And if you see, the unique aspect of this movie is it explores voyeurism. So voyeurism is nothing but it is the pleasure of observing or watching others' intimate behaviors, like exactly what is being done in this movie. So if you are, I think anyone would not be comfortable looking at you when you're in your home alone. So but then here the hero or the protagonist is doing the same thing. So that's so through the protagonist eyes, through the rear window, we are also watching the lives of others. So that is voyeurism. So it explores voyeurism. So we have so if you see here, the torso, she's a ballet dancer, and so looking at her, it is not right, but it gives the pleasure for Jeff as well as the audience through him. So Jeff is nothing but a substitution. So he is someone through whom we actually live in the movie. So when I was watching the movie, I didn't feel like I was watching a movie. I was exactly feeling like that I'm sitting in a rare window and watching out, and seeing different lives and different people's behaviors. Yeah, so that's how I felt. So it was not a movie watching experience, it was completely a different experience. That's why I loved the movie. It's been like I think 1 year since I watched this movie, but I have not forgotten the characters or the plot, because it was so fresh and unique. And with Alfred Hitchcock, you can always get a thrilling and sensational suspense story, and it exactly stays true. So I have not revealed the complete plot, so you can still go watch the movie. So there is one thing, there is a dog which always tries to dig in the garden. So the dog dies, and I'm going to give you that spoiler because if you're a dog lover, then you should be prepared for that. So dog dies. So through the dog's death, Jeff figures out what has happened. So that is a significant plot, and yeah, with that you can still watch the movie. So the performance, if you see, there is nothing much to do for James Stewart, right? So he just has to sit in a wheelchair and look outside. But if you see the expression through his facial expression, his acting performance is elevated. So even though you don't have the body or the hands, not much to engage in physical activity, you have the facial expression. So the whole film, throughout the film, he has given the facial expression absolutely wonderful. I loved, because of him you feel like you are watching through the window. So he's a really I think he's a previous generation master actor. So his performance is really good, and others have also lived up to the expectation, because everybody has given a commendable performance, because without which the movie would not be interesting. So the lonely yeah, this Lonely Hearts, Miss Lonely Hearts was really empathetic. That sequence, finally she gets a small I think a kid, I mean a teen, but he's looking for only sex. So that was also a kind of sympathetic. So that is an interesting sequence. And the torso lady, ballet dancer, his scenes were also interesting, because she always has some visitors, but she doesn't enjoy or like those visitors. And the pianist, every neighbor has a subplot, but this Thorwald's couples are the main plot. That is, he's the antagonist. So there would be a at the final climax scene, there would be an encounter between Jeff and Thorwald, and it's really thrilling. I mean, until the last moment, the movie is very thrilling. So you should definitely watch it. It is not available in any platform, but you know where to download and watch it. So yeah, so definitely watch this film. It's an interesting movie, 8.4 rated, and it is cited to be one of the greatest movie ever made. So don't miss out. So I think I hope you enjoyed the episode. Watch the film if you can, and yeah, let us catch up in another episode of Decrypting Movies. Until then, it's Mary Dawson, and you're watching Medley with Mary.